It's now day 2 of the RBC Heritage on Hilton Head Island, and the action is heating up. WSAV's Andrew Davis joins us now live from Arbortown with the latest on all the golf action.
And it was a fantastic hot and steamy day out here at Harbortown with lots of fans and lots of low scores as well. And while golf, of course, takes center stage every day, the volunteers are the key component to making this tournament run successfully. Many of those folks have a lot of stories to tell and have been here for decades. This year, a record 2,000 volunteers signed up to take part in a few days of golf on the course or in whatever capacity they were needed. One of those is Debbie Chester. She's actually been at the Heritage for 30 years. For her, it's a family tradition started by her mom, Marion McDuffie, a woman that Debbie says was instrumental and important part of the Heritage. She was part of the fashion start.
The very first year that they had the tournament was 1969, and a mother and a few of her friends decided they'd come up with a plaid skirt idea, and they went to Savannah and bought all this plaid fabric. And of course it was the 60s, so it was green and orange and pink and blue, and so they all had different skirts, and they made skirts for the little girls. They decided to make a tartan plaid, and they made this beautiful tartan plaid that we continue to have today, the Heritage Plaid. Over time, how things changed, and every year it evolves, and it's really meaningful to see the sons and daughters, such as myself, continue on the legacy.
And Debbie has taken on that legacy. She's now the co-chairperson for the Uniform and Tent Committee out here. She's just thrilled to see how the fashion has evolved and that more people trying to find out exactly what the history of this tournament is in all forms, especially in, of course, that mom plaid that she has. Well, golf can be a great game, a beautiful game really for everybody. A lot of times, though, it can take a long time to complete. 18 holes can take 4, 5, 6 hours depending on where you are. Sports director Joey Lamarck updates us on how players feel the pace of play right here on the PGA Tour at the Heritage has improved over just last year.
This time last year marked an historic event for the PGA Tour. For the first time in the Tour's history, they allowed players and caddies to use rangefinders. The goal of the measure, instituted by the Tour's Speed of Play Working Group, was to cut down the total time to complete a round of golf. The PGA Tour does take stats on pace of play and releases them publicly. However, there are some caveats to keep in mind. Some tournaments, like RBC Heritage, have limited fields. The golfers are paired in twosomes, and they all start from the first tee. And these factors impact pace of play.
Strategic week for pace of play. The course is flat, the tee boxes are all right next to each other, so it'd be pretty easy to say that the rangefinders, and we're in twosomes all week. So, yeah, you know, golf is, the pace of play thing's tough. You know, the greens are faster than they've ever been, and it just takes a while. And until we want to slow the greens down, I don't see the pace of play getting any better.
I think we did a kind of a test run on that starting here and went through the PGA last year, if I remember correctly. So situations when we hit it in the trees and it's hard to find a number, those I think sped it up a ton, but in the middle of the fairway, didn't really do a lot because guys are stubborn and want to trust their book.
In the first round at RBC Heritage, it took just under 4 hours to complete 18 holes, measuring at 3 hours and 58 minutes. We'll see what the second round holds today. Reporting from Hilton Head Island, I'm Joey Lamar, WSAV News 3 on your side.
And Joey, quick play means happy fans out here too. They appreciate seeing golf but not having to wait too long in between. There's a special new feature also off the course for mothers out there and expecting moms, as well as new place. They've got a special place just for them right at the Heritage. Novant Health has actually designated a space for moms and their little ones to step out of the heat and soak in some air conditioning. This space actually houses 2 private rooms for breastfeeding, changing stations for that quick diaper change, and a TV so they don't miss a second of the tournament. Several new moms say they were actually nervous about bringing their baby here, but the area has been their go-to spot, especially when they get fussy.
This has provided us with so much comfort. I know that there's always a place to come to if he starts to get a little fussy or if he needs a diaper change, and it's been really, really nice. It's cool in here, which is lovely because that gives him an opportunity to cool down a little bit, and yeah, we just if we needed a break, it's a perfect place to come.
And Novant's Family Care Suite is located just off the 18th tee box over on the Heritage Lawn. If you find their tent, they'll go ahead and direct you right to it. Well, coming up at 4:30, the party has already started for the weekend. How folks are started enjoying themselves for a long weekend of good golf and good fun. And at 5 o'clock, we're talking about the talk of the tournament, and it's none of the golfers or anything else here, but it's some pests that have driven a lot of people a little crazy and driven them right into the hands of local nurses. I'll tell you all about that coming up next. Andrew Davis, WSAV News 3 on your side.
Thank you, Andrew. The city of Tybee is bracing for what it expects to be a very busy weekend. Thousands of visitors will be hitting the beach to enjoy the sand and surf during Crush Reloaded. Now, city leaders say they are working closely with organizers after last year's first permitted event brought more structure and fewer major incidents. This year, crowds are expected to reach around 30,000 people, putting a focus on traffic flow and public safety. More than 100 officers from agencies across the state will be on the island, with nearly 200 personnel in total helping manage the weekend. Tybee's mayor says even before visitors arrive, law enforcement targets illegal activity and works to keep disruptions out.
Working with a promoter and working with someone that can bring organized activities, which is what originally happened when Savannah State had the very first Orange Crush here. The attitudes of the participants and the residents of the island are completely different when we're working together on an event rather than butting heads against each other.
Meanwhile, in Savannah, several downtown streets will close tonight for parts of the weekend. Closures run from 6 p.m. until 4 a.m. today and again from tomorrow night at 6 to 4 a.m. Sunday. Affected streets include St. Julian, Congress, and parts of Montgomery, Jefferson, and Bernard streets. The city says no parking will be allowed on parts of Congress and St. Julian streets until 4 a.m. Sunday. Johnson Square will be the designated rideshare pickup and drop-off area tonight and tomorrow night from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. We've been telling you how stop trains have left residents trapped in their own neighborhood in Rincon. Today, they finally got to try out a new solution. WSAV's Isley Herschel explains.
The road right behind me was the only way in and out of the picket fence subdivision for years. Now there's a new way out, and it's just down the street. This new emergency access entrance has been completed and ready to use since January of this year. Now, if a train is blocking the main entrance, this is the alternative. Rincon's mayor, Kevin Exley, tells me these issues with the train normally come about in the summertime when the heat gets more intense. The fire chief was on scene this morning and says residents were happy to get out of the subdivision despite the train issues.
It feels good that the city created something that we were able to use and access and be able to fund and bring the community together in a way that not many people could as of before today, because the trains have always been an issue here, and today it wasn't a fact.
The Rincon mayor tells me this pathway only took about 90 days to build. It ended up costing the city less than $1 million for a new way out of the subdivision. In Rincon, Isley Herschel, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Despite strong opposition from some residents, the Glenn County Commission has approved new zoning ordinances that would allow the construction of data centers. County leaders say they have not received any proposals to build data centers, but want to take a proactive stance in case of future interest. Opponents worry about the enormous amount of energy and water that data centers use. Yesterday's rezoning approval happened despite a vote last month by the county's Joint Planning Commission, which recommended a 120-day moratorium to allow a working group to strengthen the ordinance. We're getting yet another look at a devastating fire that ripped through a local apartment complex. The Chatham County Fire Department has now shared this aerial video of the Georgetown Oaks apartment as they were going up in flames on Sunday. 5 people had to be rescued from the flames, including 2 small children who had to jump from the 3rd floor and were caught by police officers waiting below.
Come here. Come on. Hey, come on.
You okay? The children were treated for smoke inhalation, but are expected to be okay. 3 other people, including a pregnant woman, were also rescued. The state fire marshal office is still working to determine the exact cause of the fire. We're told 38 people were displaced. The Red Cross is working to assist them. If you'd like information on how you can help, just go to our website. That's WSAV.com.